and quote, smile among thousands of spotlights, end quote. That night, the sky in Seoul was bright. The big collaboration concert between BTS and Blackpink. The first time the two legendary groups performed together was the center of attention. Worldwide, fans from all over the world filled the stadium, carrying light sticks, banners, and unstoppable love. Jungkook stood backstage, listening to the music and the cheers of the audience. Although he had performed dozens of times, tonight felt different. Maybe for one reason, Lisa. Since the joint practice for the past week, Jungkook began to realize something. Lisa was not just a charismatic idol. Behind her sharp gaze and stunning dance moves, she was also warm, funny, and lovable. And her smile. Oh, her smile. Every time Lisa laughed or smiled during practice, Jungkook felt his heart race. End quote. Jungkook, are you ready? End quote. The manager and A-Pose's voice interrupted his reverie. Jungkook nodded and walked to the standby position. Today, they would duet on a special song, a romantic acoustic song called, end quote, You and Amp, Me Under the Moonlight, end quote. The song was written specifically for this moment, and no one expected the chemistry between the two of them to be this strong. The lights dimmed, the music slowly played. Jungkook strummed his guitar. Then his melodious voice began to sing the first verse. The spotlight shone on him. Then Lisa appeared from the other side of the stage, wearing an elegant white dress with her hair down. Lisa smiled slightly as she walked closer. Jungkook, who was usually always focused, suddenly went blank. Damn, he thought to himself. His heart immediately started beating fast. Lisa stood beside him, microphone in hand, and when the second verse came, she began to sing in a soft voice that made the audience fall silent, amazed. Jungkook strummed the guitar wrong. It wasn't an A-pose, very clear, but enough to make him nervous. Lisa turned her head, her eyes glancing briefly with a small smile. End quote, are you okay? End quote. She whispered softly in between verses. Jungkook almost forgot the lyrics. He nodded quickly, looking into Lisa and A-Pose's clear eyes under the spotlight. The duet was magical. They looked at each other, sometimes laughing a little as their lyrics connected in perfect harmony. Fans began to scream hysterically at the natural interaction. At the end of the song, Lisa and Jungkook stood close together. The music stopped, only the sound of the audience and A-Pose's cheers echoing. Jungkook, still carried away by the atmosphere, glanced at Lisa and said softly into his mic, end quote, you know, your smile can make me forget the world, end quote. Lisa was surprised for a moment, her eyes widened, then she laughed. End quote, did you just ask me out in front of 60,000 people? End quote, she replied, still laughing. The audience immediately exploded. Fans cried, screamed, and the internet broke that night. After the concert, the atmosphere backstage was a bit chaotic. But Jungkook immediately looked for Lisa. He found her sitting on the sofa, still holding a water bottle. Hair a little messy, but still stunning. End quote. Hey, end quote, he said as he approached. Lisa turned and smiled. That smile again. End quote. I was serious, end quote, Jungkook said, sitting next to him. Lisa looked at him, more deeply this time. End quote. Serious about what? End quote. About your smile. And about me being nervous every time I see you. Lisa was silent for a moment. Then she leaned her head on Jungkook's shoulder. You're not alone, Kook. I also get nervous every time you sing and look at me. That night, behind the spectacular concert, two big stars found peace in each other. And it all started with a small smile on stage. After the concert ended and the stage began to be dismantled, the atmosphere behind the scenes changed drastically. From hysterical cheers to soft conversations, tired laughter, and the footsteps of the crew busy packing up equipment. Meanwhile, Jungkook and Lisa were still sitting side by side on the sofa in the break room, as if the outside world had disappeared. No cameras, no spotlights, just the two of them. "I still can't believe you said that on the mic," Lisa said with a sigh. She looked away for a moment, her cheeks slightly flushed. Jungkook shrugged, a faint smile etched on his face. "If not now, when? We rarely get moments like that. And honestly, I can't stand to keep all this to myself anymore." Lisa turned her head slowly, looking at Jungkook's face, which now looked much more relaxed than on stage. But behind that relaxedness, she could see sincerity. And maybe feelings. Lisa bit her lower lip. "You know, during duet practice, I always wait for our turn to practice our part. I like the way you play guitar. But what makes me the most nervous is your gaze." Jungkook laughed softly. "So we make each other nervous, huh?" Lisa nodded. "But I think you won tonight." Jungkook shifted his seat a little closer. "I want to ask you something, but you promised to answer honestly. Okay, if I ask you out, it won't be as a duet partner, but as Jungkook who likes you. Do you want to?" Lisa paused for a moment. She looked down, staring at her own fingers, before finally looking at Jungkook and saying in a low voice, "I've been waiting for you to ask that since the first day of practice." And that alone was enough to make Jungkook smile widely. A few days later, social media was still abuzz with their duet. Fan cams, fan cafes. Even news portals were filled with speculation about Lisa and Jungkook's closeness. But they remained calm, because, behind the scenes, a story was slowly developing. That night, they went out to dinner at a hidden place in the Hanam area. It wasn't a fancy restaurant, just a small ramen shop with warm lights and soft jazz music. They sat across from each other, laughing, telling stories, and sharing feelings without having to hide behind makeup or an idol image. "You look different," Lisa said as she slurped her ramen. "More relaxed." "Because I don't have to be Jungkook BTS in front of you," he replied. "I can be myself." Lisa smiled. She touched his hand briefly on the table. "And I like this version of you." After eating, they walked along the banks of the Han River. The night air was quite cold, but each other's presence gave a certain warmth. Lisa held Jungkook's hand slowly, and the two walked in comfortable silence. "We'll be busy again tomorrow," Lisa mumbled. "Yeah, but I don't want to lose this one," Jungkook said, turning to her. "You and me, this feels right." Lisa nodded slowly. "Let's take good care of it, okay? Just keep it quiet for now. But seriously,